When it comes to what your family eats and drinks, you know your choices matter. You're the expert because you know what fits your life. And getting it right starts with good information. That's why America's beverage companies are sharing more information about our ingredients at goodtoknowfacts.org. No spin, no judgments, just the facts straight from the experts for more than 140 beverage ingredients. Visit goodtoknowfacts.org.
So I remember telling my parents, I'm like, this first year it was awful. I'm going to tell the coach, thank you for everything. I went to practice that day, and this was at the end of the season. We ran sprints, we were doing hills and stuff. We get done, and one of the assistant coaches, Rick Johnson, comes over and he puts his arm around me, completely out of the blue, unbeknownst that I was planning on telling him I was quitting, and said, I know this has been a rough year for you, but I swear to God, if you stick to this sport, you're going to light the world on fire. And I remember when he said it, I remember where I was standing. I went back in the car that day and I told my parents, I'm like, this guy really believes in me. Like, there's no way I can let this man down now, right? So at that moment, I learned the power of, will, but also the power of the fact that it's always the right time to say the right thing. So when I'm a coach now, if I see something or if I feel like a kid is struggling or I see any kind of emotion on his face that might be negative, I never resist the temptation to go over and say something to that kid because I have no idea if it's going to impact him in the right way or not, right?
Southwest Florida is one of the most beautiful places on the planet to live. For those of you that are thinking of moving from other states to come to Florida, or even just moving to a different part of the state, I want you to think of a big, beautiful luxury home. Contact Legacy Luxury Builders. They are a family-owned and operated luxury residential construction company. As a family-owned business, they believe in the power of building not just homes, but legacies. Contact Legacy Luxury Builders. Unlock your true potential on the field and court with our Peak Mental Performance Program for athletes. Train your mind to conquer challenges, stay focused under pressure, and achieve unparalleled success. Our expert coaches will guide you through personalized techniques, enhancing concentration, resilience, and confidence. Picture yourself outperforming your rivals, making split-second decisions with clarity, and achieving victory like never before. Join us today and elevate your game to new heights. Peak Mental Performance Program, where champions are forged in the mind. Email me today, sean.french@thedeterminedsociety.com for more information. See you inside. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another show of the Determined Society podcast. I am your host and mental performance coach, Sean French, and with me today, guys, I have a lacrosse legend. My buddy Greg Gurenlian has a 14-year career as a professional lacrosse player. He's a husband, a father, still an athlete, and he is the owner of the Face Off Academy. Welcome, my boy, to the show. What's up, man?
Sean, what's up, man? Pumped to be on here, brother. Love what
dude,
you're doing,
it's been a long time coming, bro, dude. It's been a long time coming, but we got it figured out, didn't we?
Yeah, we got it figured out easy.
Oh, dude. It's so funny because like I always, find ways to connect with people on this amazing social platform. And you're one of those guys. I could just tell how real you are and how much you care about athletes and in the sport of lacrosse. Walk us through your journey a little bit. Like, because lacrosse to me, dude, growing up, like I didn't see a whole bunch of it in California. So walk the audience through your journey for those that might not know you.
Sure, yeah. I mean, like a real quick rundown. I grew up in Philadelphia. I started playing lacrosse my freshman year of high school because I just wanted everybody in Springfield in Delaware County, the cool kids played lacrosse. And I was a baseball guy up until then. So I started playing lacrosse my freshman year, which was probably almost 8 years later than most kids. Got made fun of, got bullied about it. It was really tough to get going. Got my feet underneath me, worked my ass off. And then, eventually out of nowhere, right before my senior year, school started calling. And Penn State was my dream school. I grew up watching Penn State football. I could probably tell you every quarterback at Penn State from like 1988 on. And half of my dad's side of the family all went there. So when I started getting recruiting letters from Penn State, it was a wrap. I knew nothing about Penn State lacrosse. I just wanted to go to the school. And I also wanted to be a kinesiology major, and they have one of the best programs in the world. So it was a layup. Went there, had a great career, ended up getting drafted into what used to be called Major League Lacrosse, and played from 2006 until 2017. And then amongst the same time with Team USA, I played from about 2012 till 2018. Retired in 2017 from Major League Lacrosse as the league's all-time leader in face-off wins and a bunch of other stuff. Got a championship, was a league MVP once, and then the Premier Lacrosse League started by Paul Rabel and his brother. Paul is like a huge star in the sport of lacrosse. They decided to start their own league, and they basically swallowed up the Major League Lacrosse, absorbed them, and I came back out of retirement for 1 year to play in the PLL in 2019, and then I hung it up. During that time, in 2011, I blew my knee out, thought it was a career-ending injury. While I was at that point, I was a full-time strength coach. I had a company called Brawlic Strength in New York City, and I decided that summer to write a program, training program on face-offs based strictly on biomechanics. And when I came back from my injury, I had a career year. And every kid I started teaching this system to started crushing it, going Division I, setting records, being All-Americans. So we built an entire website out of it, thefaceoffacademy.com. And now we're, by far the biggest entity when it comes to training face-off guys worldwide. So international teams, first, second, third team All-Americans in college. Every year we have 30, 40, 50 guys that go and play Division I lacrosse that get recruited from our system. We have our national showcase this December. Every year, this will be the 11th year we've done it. We get 250 of the best face-off guys in the country. So it's become my full-time gig. I sold my strength training business in 2014 after things really took off. So yeah, that's been my story. And ever since, I've just been full-time in Face Off Academy. And I also do that. You and I had met on Instagram, and I do a lot of strength and conditioning stuff still now. I call it the official Beast Lab, and I do remote strength training for specifically lacrosse players for the most part as well.
That's amazing, guys. You can't see him unless you're watching this, but like this dude looks like Brock Lesnar. Like he's built like that, dude. He's massive. It's funny. Like one of the first posts that I saw of him was him in his garage lifting, and it was raining outside. I'm like, dude, that guy from the profile, is that Brock Lesnar? Absolutely ginormous. And it's almost more baffling the fact that you said you got bullied in high school. I bet you those bullies are scared as shit to kind of run into you now.
Well, it's funny, Sean. Like I have this nickname, Beast, and a lot of people who don't know me well, oh, this guy walks around calling himself Beast, like, because he thinks it's actually, I got that nickname when I was a freshman in high school playing lacrosse. And I was terrible. I couldn't catch and throw, but it was the first sport. I was never allowed to play football. So it was the first team sport that I was allowed to hit people in. So I just ran around trying to earhole everybody. So the seniors would stand around the field, watch the JV games, and they'd all be making fun of me. They'd be yelling, "Beast," because I was this skinny little kid. And I went to Penn State at 170, and they put me on 10,000 calories a day when I was there. And I left. I left at 210. So now when people are like, oh, he thinks he's so big, he calls himself Beast. I'm like, no, Beast is actually like an endearing, like making fun of me name. It's like Lil Jon, like that's what I look at it like.
I had one back in the day. I don't think I've ever said this on air, but like in my first year of college, I was very soft. Like I was a fat kid, and dude, they called me Squishy, bro.
Squishy. Dude, that's what I call my 2-year-old. I call my 2-year-old Squish.
Dude, Squish. I was, hey, come on, Squish, huh, Squish? Now, like, dude, it was mortifying. But now when I see those, and I hope you guys are listening, because now I got you guys. We're 45. I turned 45 tomorrow, and they're the squishy ones. They're
Happy birthday, dude. Ones. That's awesome.
Thanks, man. Yeah, dude. Tomorrow, October 28th, the faux 5.
It's okay not to be perfect with finances. Experian is your big financial friend and here to help. Did you know you can get matched with credit cards on the app? Some cards are labeled no ding decline, which means if you're not approved, they won't hurt your credit scores. Download the Experian app for free today. Applying for no ding decline cards won't hurt your credit scores if you aren't initially approved. Initial approval will result in a hard inquiry, which may impact your credit scores.
Experian. This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock has tips to protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report phishing, and update the software on your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, let LifeLock alert you to suspicious uses of your personal information. LifeLock also fixes identity theft, guaranteed or your money back. Stay smart, safe, and protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Listen, man, I want to give the audience some major value in one of those things that you said when you're talking about your background, because there's a lot to unpack there, right? A lot of things point to your mental toughness and your determination, but there's one thing that I really want to focus on. In 2011, you blew out your knee, career-ending injury, and out of that was born a whole lifetime of impact that you're making to lacrosse. Like, talk about that, man. Like, you created something there, man. Like, that's, to me, I got goosebumps, because that is taking an adverse situation and really creating something out of it. So let's spend some time on that.
As you know, there are pivotal moments in your life where, and I made a post about this. I do that Monday mindset post. And I said, like, I'm self-made, but I didn't do it myself. And what I meant by that was, there are two pivotal moments in my life where my whole path could have gone two different ways. So, like I said, I got made fun of relentlessly my freshman year of high school for, playing lacrosse at practice and all that stuff. And I was not used to that. Like, I was a born athlete. I was good at soccer, basketball. I would play the sport during the season and then throw those cleats in the closet and play a different sport and be good at it. Lacrosse, what I actually appreciate about it is, it doesn't matter how athletic you are. You can't fake lacrosse, because if you can't catch and throw and make the stick like one with your body, then you're completely useless. I mean, we could put Aaron Donald out there on a lacrosse field and he'd be completely useless if he couldn't catch and throw, which is wild to think about. So I remember telling my parents, I'm like, I'm going to, this first year it was awful. I'm going to tell the coach, thank you for everything. I went to practice that day, and this was at the end of the season. We ran sprints. We were doing hills and stuff. We get done, and one of the assistant coaches, Rick Johnson, comes over and he puts his arm around me completely out of the blue, unbeknownst that I was planning on telling him I was quitting, and said, I know this has been a rough year for you, but I swear to God, if you stick to this sport, you're going to light the world on fire. And I remember when he said it. I remember where I was standing. I went back in the car that day and I told my parents, I'm like, this guy really believes in me. Like, there's no way I can let this man down now. Right. So at that moment, I learned the power of, will, but also the power of the fact that it's always the right time to say the right thing. So when I'm a coach now, if I see something, or if I feel like a kid is struggling, or I see any kind of emotion on his face that might be negative, I never resist the temptation to go over and say something to that kid, because I have no idea if it's going to impact him in the right way or not. Right. And then my knee blew out. I remember in 2011, I blew my knee out. Up until that point, for people who understand the sport of lacrosse, you already get this, but people who don't, I did one very specific position, which was face-offs. So before every quarter and after every goal, the teams line up and they have a designated guy on the middle of the field whose job is to fight for the ball, get it to your team, and then run off. You play for like 15 to 30 seconds at a time, and you do it 30 times a game. And if you can win a large majority of those, you give your team a very massive majority of the possessions. So it helps you a ton. So it's become the most valuable position in the sport. But there weren't really specialists at it when I was coming up in high school. So I played offensive midfield in college. I did all that stuff. But I started taking the face-offs. My junior year at Penn State, I started taking all of them. And I excelled. And I became all conference in that. And that's when I went to the pros, that was the first time they told me, you're only going to face off here. So I was still just doing it as an athlete. I didn't have a rhyme or reason for the techniques I was using. I was just kind of like, if somebody was really good, I'd copy them. When I blew my knee out, that was the first time in my life that being an athlete was snatched away from me for a while, because I had injuries before. I've broken so many bones, but like, this was scary, right? So you're sitting there like, what am I doing? Like, I don't do anything halfway in my life. Why did I take this gift where I'm playing in professional lacrosse, which is like 0.00001% of the population that makes it to this, and I took it for granted by just going out there and winging it as an athlete? So I was kind of embarrassed. So, I started writing this programming because a couple of my friends, Jerry Raganese and Chris Mattis, who were also professional lacrosse players, wanted to do a series of clinics during the summer, which I was like, that's great, because I'm a strength coach. But during the summer, a lot of my clients, they go to the Hamptons. So this would be like a cool thing to do during the summer. And when I wrote the program and came back to training camp and started smashing people, my buddy Jerry was like, dude, like we got to teach everybody this. And it was literally just lining up correctly, having the, playing the angles and stuff. But I remember when I talked to kids, because as you know, child ACL injuries have become so massively prevalent compared to when we were growing up. No kids blew their ACL out when we were growing up.
Dude, there's so many injuries going on right now.
And it's all specialization. It's because kids do one thing 700 times a day, year round.
We'll get there. Yeah, we're going to get there today.
So for me, I tell the kids, I go, look, when a kid tells me he has an injury like this, it's devastating. So you have to be sensitive to that. Mm-hmm. So I tell them, I go, look, this is the plan. Because everyone right now is just telling you how you should feel. I'm going to tell you what you're going to do. You are going to spend the next 24 hours feeling sorry for yourself. Get it all out. Because after that, you need to wake up and you need to start working on what you're going to do to fix it. So you can either sulk for 48 hours, 72 hours, feel sorry for you, or you can accept the fact that this happened to you. What are you going to do about it? Right? If you're analytical, you can't be emotional. So if you're focused every day on your rehab, if you're focused on your surgery date, if you're focused on your comebacks, every single step you go in there and do, you don't have time to sit around and feel sorry for yourself. So that's what I tell the kids. And they come back stronger because, look, my left ACL, that's a tendon. My right ACL is a ligament. So I actually have a stronger left knee now. So yeah, that's the way I looked at it. And it paid off because if I didn't do that, then I just, who knows what would have happened to me. I certainly wouldn't be right here right now for sure.
No, for sure. Do you have people in your life at that time that helped you down that road? Mm-hmm. Because, you do that for others now, but who helped you get through those emotional moments?
Unequivocally, my wife. Like I tell people all the time, the realization that I wanted to marry this woman was when she had started working for Michael Kors. She was, young, trying to do her thing. And here she was filling my ice bucket, helping me get to the bathroom the first 2 days after my surgery, driving me to Midtown, like taking a cab with me to Midtown, getting me out of the cab, watching me scream for an hour in pain, bring me back home, get my ice set up, go back to work. And as soon as I recovered, the next spring, I proposed to her because this woman is a winner.
Yeah.
So, absolutely her. Of course, my parents, you see a lot of different types of sports parents, right? Good and bad.
Yeah.
I had the perfect sports parents. I never heard anything after any game other than "You were great. I love you." That's it. I didn't get, next time you should try this, or, your coach was doing the wrong thing. None of that stuff. My parents stood by themselves under the scoreboard and always gave me a hug. And that was that. So they were always there for me no matter what. And my wife was there for me. And that got me through it, man. Because, look, I'll be honest, Sean, like I'm not good at surface level friendships. I'm terrible at that. Like you and I are dogs, and I will drive anywhere at any time of the day to help you in a situation, or we're just, hey, that's it. Right. Like,
yep.
So I know for me, if like I've had a lot of people that, they blew their knee out or where, like, I'm there for them. Not that many people were there for me. Just the ones that you can really count on. So I dug my heels in and I got it done,
That's awesome, dude. And, we talked a lot about where you just touched on, you had the perfect sports parents, right? You have the perfect parents. They just come to you and say, I love you. You were great.
Yep.
I try to tell my kids, I really love watching you work hard today.
Yeah.
That's it. And dude, in baseball, like I coach my son, and, and I talked about this, I think, on another show that hasn't aired yet. So for the people listening to this one, then listen to the last one, I'm sorry, but you're going to hear it again.
Spoiler.
I failed. I failed the other day.
Yeah.
I failed the other day with my son. He's at this time where he likes to fake an injury if he messes up on the baseball field.
Oh, yeah. So how old is he?
He's 9.
Okay.
Triggers me, Greg. Triggers the absolute what out of me, bro.
Yeah.
I can't effing handle it, man.
Yeah.
And so I say to him, he fields the ball at shortstop. Okay. Plenty of time. He came through the baseball. He's ready to make a play. There's nobody on. I literally just got done telling him, hey, Beatos, ground ball to you. You're going 1. Gives me that little head shake. Yeah, Dad, got you, coach. gets baseball ready, because that's, I guess, what we say to kids. Hey, baseball ready. Next pitch, dude. Where's it hit? Right to Bobby Doster French, dude. What's he do when he gets the ball? Looks at home, looks at second, looks at third. Didn't throw it to first.
Nope.
Ended up over, gets upset because I'm like, one. Throws it back to the pitcher, but over his head. So he throws the ball in the shitter. Like, catcher's chasing it now. The guy's running from first to second. They throw the ball to second base. After I'm yelling, eat it, don't throw it. He got stepped on. And for those of you listening, not watching, I'm throwing up air quotes. His glove hand, index finger got stepped on by the second baseman. Crying, I have to put him on the bench because he just can't continue. Everybody's getting him ice. And so I said to him, this is where I failed. Look, man, why is it every time you don't make a play, something hurts? And I don't know if I failed. Like, I felt like it. I felt like I failed because the look in his eyes. I'm like, oh shit. Right. But like, I kept going. I'm like, no, seriously, answer me the question. Like, why is it that when you don't make a play, you're hurt? I would much rather you be like, get him next time, coach. I don't care if he messes up.
Well,
like,
I mean,
the mental thing.
What would you, if you think you failed, what would you have said in like differently? Because I don't think there's anything innately wrong with what you said.
No, but everybody was looking at me, dude. Like,
yeah,
like French is about to lose his shit, right? But to me, in the heat of the moment, there could have been much worse things that I could have said.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was garbage. Don't cry after you don't make a play.
Yeah.
Right. I could have said that. But I said, why is it every single time you don't make a play, you act like you're hurt?
Yeah.
I think tone and delivery is everything,
oh,
especially for a 9-year-old. And so, I pulled him aside and talked to him. I said, hey, look, man, I apologize if I came off, like I was getting on to you. I'm really curious. Like, why does this always happen?
Yeah.
And he's just like, I got stepped on. I was like, okay.
We're gonna go to the grave with it, Dad.
and so I was like, all right, cool. I was like, awesome. So what you're saying is you want to do jiu-jitsu in the off season.
Well, I think there's also something to be said though for, look, this is part of a learning experience in team sports, right? You have a duty to the guys that are on your team. Look, it's just kids baseball, but it's important. The whole reason we play team sports is so we can learn life lessons, right? Yeah. The wins and losses will happen. That's great. But so like as a kid, when you're at work and you don't get your job done when you're a grown up, you can't just pretend like your ankle hurts because you didn't get your report done. Right. So it's important for all the other kids on the team and the parents to see that you're going to hold him accountable because you're like, look, they depend on you. But yeah, I mean, look, as dads, it's always tough. That's why, I got asked when Jax wanted to play lacrosse in our town league. The LMYL league here is phenomenal. They keep it fun. They, inject knowledge into it. And they asked me immediately because they recognize his last name. Like, hey, Greg, like, do you want to come coach here? I was like, look, I love you guys and I appreciate what you're doing. I coach 6 days a week. All I want to do is be dad for an hour. And I don't want Jax to have any pressure because I respect the hell out of the fact that you're coaching your son because I don't know if I can do that. Like, I would be thinking the whole time of what is the right thing to say and how to say it. So it doesn't look like I'm favoriting him. And I don't want him to think that I'm being harder on him. So yeah, I've always said, like, unless like a coach has a heart attack on the sidelines and I have to hop in, I'm sitting over here at my wife, just like smiling and waving. But it's tough. You never know what's exactly the right thing to say.
I think for me, it's one of those things where I sat for so many years, right? I've been an assistant for him the whole time. I never wanted to be the main guy. And after last year, I was like, no more. Like, I'm going to develop him. I'm going to develop others. Like, it is what it is. Like, do I miss just being dad? Hell yeah, man. Like, I just, I don't ever get to watch a game and just be satisfied to watch my son. I'm moving him around. I'm moving somebody else around. I'm on him about acting like he's hurt, Well, he probably might have hurt a little bit, but I think his pride was hurt mostly, and he was embarrassed, you know. So he's gonna get better. But dude, coaching your own kid is a blessing, but also it's very very difficult. And granted, as he gets older, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm no somebody
It's
else
like a lose
when he gets.
lose when you're older, especially like in high school, like varsity. It's like,
Oh,
oh, his
dude,
son's only playing because he's, it's like, well, his son just hit a home
yeah,
run. Yeah, well,
yeah,
my son would have hit a okay, man. And
yeah. Of
that's
course, sure. Your son can't even tie his cleats.
yeah,
Let's go. We touched on, and and I want to get to this. Sorry, audience, we got sidetracked into parenting, but don't judge us. Um, Specializing too soon in injuries, man. I gotta tell you, as excuse me, as I get older, I'm seeing more baseball players, like more young kids, have Tommy John surgery, have arm injuries, right? Because I could speak to baseball. How is it in lacrosse, man? Because it's, dude, it's like these kids are not playing other sports anymore.
yeah. It's tough because it's a total catch 22.
Mhm.
You'll have every college Division 1 lacrosse coach will say, "I like three sport athletes. I like three sport. Make sure you're playing three sports." But then they're on the sidelines in the fall watching fall ball tournaments for recruiting.
Mhm.
It's like this three sport athlete is missing because he's playing football. Oh, I really wanted to watch him. So you're recruiting kids year round, but you're also saying that they have to be three sport athletes. So what you
Mhm.
really mean is if I recruit a kid that I really like on the field and he just so happens to play three sports, that's a home run. Yeah, I get that. So it's tough because also as a coach, you're like, I'm not going to not recruit. Um,
Yeah.
but these kids fall behind, man. So like, look, my business model is totally based on the fact that kids want to face off from the time they're in fifth grade up, right?
Mhm.
And I am actively telling kids every single year, please, we have different styles of training, right? If I'm a Muay Thai fighter, I'm not going to fight somebody every single night for an hour and a half.
Right.
I'm going
Right.
to work on my striking. I'm going to have recovery days. I'm going to work on my technical stuff. Then I'm going to spar. We're going to have specific things we focus on when we're sparring. Like these kids, when they face off, the problem with face offs is it is repetitively to the same spot. It's always a right handed face off, regardless of what hand you are. So it's your right labrum and your right wrist that suffers the most because not only are you doing something, but there's somebody on the other side creating impact. So there's an impact to your labrum on every rep. And I beg these kids. I'm like, dude, please. I did it for 20 years. I'm telling you right now, your body can't handle you doing this. This year alone, my 2023 class, the kids who went in as freshmen, I got a freshman that went to Notre Dame, Penn State, and Ohio State. All three had shoulder surgery this at the end of this summer. And those three guys in particular, I was begging for 3 years. I'm like, please stop going over Andrew's house and taking face-offs for 2 hours every night. And, you know, I've always said this, coaching prepared me for being a father because every
Mhm.
day kids aren't listening to me, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, what else do I have to accomplish in this sport for you to believe that I know everything you need to know?
Mhm.
Go be a kid for a day and play Nintendo. You don't have to take face-offs for 2 hours tonight. But it's peer pressure, man. These kids,
Yeah.
when you and I were growing up, I had to outwork the kids that were in my class, right? Now, these kids are on Instagram all day, every day, and they see a kid from Europe who's playing soccer 6 hours a day, and his dad keeps posting about how awesome he is when he's 6 years old. So now my son's waking up and he's looking at these YouTubes going, wow, I can't do that yet. I should be able to do that. Dad, I want to be on the advanced travel team. Dad, I want to do. So, I mean, the pressure is greater than ever. And the parents are worse than ever, man. It's
Dude,
worse than ever.
it's I'm sitting here and I'm lighting up because like every single talking point I'm thinking when you're talking, you're bringing it up before me. This is a truly aligned episode.
And I don't
The
mean, and,
audience
and,
will
and,
get
and I don't want to say like parents are worse as in they're terrible people.
no,
I mean,
I
they're
know they're not.
making the biggest mistakes I've ever seen in the largest amount of numbers.
Yeah.
Um,
It,
yeah,
you
you have
know,
the
like
different things.
totally, dude. And like what you're talking about, like I lit up when you started talking about these kids are on Instagram. The pressure's different, dude. Like When we were playing, like, dude, we didn't even have MySpace when I was at LSU playing baseball.
No.
Like, I mean, Facebook wasn't around yet, man.
Yeah.
Like, that was like the year or two after I left. So just imagine, like, if you're one of these lacrosse athletes, you're a 7th or 8th grader, and you're on Twitter or you're on Instagram, and you're following all these travel organizations for lacrosse and all these big lacrosse players locally, and you start seeing official visits.
Dude, commitment
And you
season.
start seeing committed season, bro. Like, I have a friend that his son is one hell of a quarterback here locally. It's not a dig on anything. Like, he's a stud. He's been going on visits for years. It's like Florida State, LSU, UF, Miami, Penn State, Ohio State, Kentucky. Like, dude, everywhere. Like, that becomes the measuring stick for these other kids.
Yeah.
And so naturally, to your point, when Jax goes, I can't do this yet. I'm watching this YouTube. And now they overtrain. Now they're focusing on something and they end up getting hurt. But more than that, I think what really hurts is the mental side of this. Let's talk about that, because I think there's a lot of pressure there.
Well, I played sports growing up because I liked the sport.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. I started karate when I was 6, did that for 10 years. And then when I didn't like it anymore, when I didn't want to do it because it got in the way of my sports, my parents were like, okay. I did wrestling for years. I love the individual stuff. The team sports, man, I played soccer, I played basketball, I played baseball, and I did it year round. And then I started playing lacrosse literally because I wanted to make friends. I didn't think about college until the first day I get this letter from Towson University. And I'm like, what the hell? I can go to play in college doing this? It's amazing. But now every dad, my son is, he's going to join this club team. What's the best way to get him exposure for colleges? Well, how old's your son? Well, he's 8.
Jesus.
Holy shit. Like,
you need to check up from the neck up,
dude,
bro.
but that's all the kids are playing lacrosse because they want to play in college. They're not playing lacrosse because they love playing lacrosse. So I've always said the same thing. My son, man, the only thing he hears after a game is, did you have fun? He'll come, Dad, I scored 2 goals and we beat that team. Did you have a good time? Yeah. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Don't care about anything else. If at some point he becomes this superstar and he's obsessed then sure, I'll foster whatever he wants.
Sure.
But, it's interesting. I think like people like you and I, what I get a lot of is because I'm the way I am, people have an assumption, right? So they're like, is Jax going to play lacrosse? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he can do it as long as he works as hard as he can, right? Not really. If he wants to play soccer just because he wants to make the team because he has friends on the team and he doesn't care about sitting on the bench and he only practices at practice, great. That's actually less pressure for me. But he just can't come home one day and complain to me he's not playing because he's not practicing enough. That's where he'll get the talk of what you put into it correlates exactly to what you get out of it. But I'm not one of those dads or coaches that is like, you better give 110% and all the time, because that's not reality, man. That's not life. Think about college. Was there a class that you didn't give it your all in? I know there were classes like Stat 200, dude. See ya.
A class?
Yeah.
Class? Shit. A lot of them. I mean,
Well,
college algebra, nope. I'm changing my major because I don't want to do this.
That's right. But in your major, you went out and you focused because it was something you're actually interested in, because college is a scam, right? Like, oh, you have to take geosci. It's like, dude, I want to study anatomy. What are we doing here? But like for me, neuroanatomy, crush it. Stat 200, I'm just going to get that C so I can stay eligible, so
funny.
That's real life, man.
Well, dude, it's funny because how old's Jax?
So Jax is going to be 7 this December.
Okay. So young, man. So yeah. So everybody talks to me about Bobby, like, hey, is he playing fall ball this year? This is the first year I let him play fall ball. He's almost 10. He turns 10 3 days after my birthday. He's a Halloween baby. All right.
Nice.
And yeah, dude, so what a cool birthday.
It's a great birthday.
Have so much fun when he goes to college.
Yeah.
God. Oh, yeah. He's going to realize his birthday is the best day of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. So, when are you going to get Bobby lessons? Like, let's get him out there. I'd love to work with him. I'm like, Why? Well, dude, he's your kid. He's got a cannon. He's got a gift. He's a natural. Have you seen his swing? Are you teaching him that? Like, no, he just knows that. No, there's no way that kid knows that swing. I'm like, that's his natural move. I don't know what to tell you. Oh my God, he's gonna be better than you. I go, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he has it in him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he wants this. But guess what? He's 9. And dude, at 9 years old, I mean, of course, I would watch a big league game and just dream of being on TV. But did I really want it yet? I don't know that I did.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember, Greg. I can't remember working hard until like started getting lessons when I was like 13 or 14.
Mm-hmm.
And then I still didn't do like the max effort until my freshman year in college at a JUCO. Like, I think people have a disgusting and distorted version of what reality really is for these kids in their athletic development.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be right now. If your kid's peaked right now and he's 9, I'm scared for that kid.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to catch up to him.
Well, you have different types of distorted views. You have the dads who never played sports. And I'll be honest, actually, the dads who never played sports are usually the best ones because they don't know what to expect. So they're just like, my son's athletic. Amazing. That's great. That's so cool.
Coach, do what you do.
Yeah. Or you have the guys who were kind of athletic and now they're trying to live through their kids. Right. So I want you to go play Division I so I can go tell my friends that you played Division I. Dude, Sean, you'd be shocked, right? If you sit on the side of any high school lacrosse game and you sit in the stands, you would think that Division I teams are giving away full scholarships like it's Pez. Oh, my son's getting a full ride to Princeton. Yeah, Ivy Leagues don't give scholarships, man. Oh, my kid is a full ride to Penn State. No, he's not. I know the head coach. There's 22 and a half scholarships to give over the course of an entire team. So unless your kid is the number 1 recruit in the entire country, he's paying for a bunch of stuff. Trust me. Yeah. But it's all about ego and fulfilling my ego. We have a guy out here, man, in one of the towns next to us. They bring their kids to the soccer stuff. And the soccer stuff that Jax is doing is Foster soccer. If anybody's in the Westchester area, man, Foster soccer is phenomenal. They keep it fun. They really teach the kids fundamentals and they have a good time. They're doing short-sided games to see if the kids like the idea of doing travel soccer, which is great. Mm-hmm. We have this one group come over here, man. There's one dad. He coaches one of the teams and he's yelling at the kids and everything's about grabbing shirts and slide tackles. And then if his kid gets elbowed, he goes on social media and tells everybody about it. And you're just like, oh my God, dude, I'm just here to watch my kid get tired so he goes to bed at night. I'm just here to talk to other dads and hang out, man. But there's all different types of dads who I've never seen a youth sporting event get ruined by the kids. Let's just put it that way.
Never. Dude, there's a bunch of stuff going on right now, man. I've seen parents yell at umpires. I've seen, I posted something last week about a coach. I mean, you saw it, a coach chasing down an umpire and jumping at him. It's like, wait a second.
And he whiffed too. That was embarrassing.
Oh, dude, he ate shit, didn't he? It's like, dude,
he got hit with karma right away.
I'm like, dude, if you're gonna do that, you better connect. Make it worth it. Because now everybody knows, 1, you're slow, 2, you can't fight.
Yeah. Well, we have a crisis right now across the board in sports in this country right now of getting officials. No one wants to put up with the shit. I know in lacrosse, we live in Westchester, New York, and our guys play in Section 1. We had 2 Section 1 games canceled last spring because we couldn't find officials for them.
Wow.
That's never happened. So, refs are like, dude, I'm not getting paid this tiny amount of money to sit here and get screamed at by a bunch of parents for 2 hours every day. No way. And
they don't want the abuse, bro. They don't want the abuse. I can tell you
they shouldn't.
No, I agree with you. And I'm sitting there the other night coaching my son's game and I'm watching the home plate umpire. I want to say his name so bad I just want to. God, this guy. Balls are bouncing 2 feet in front of the plate. He's calling them strikes. And you can't complain about it. It's a judgment call.
Yeah.
Then the best part is when it starts to get darker.
Oh no.
And our lights are still messed up from Hurricane Ian. They're fixing them in November finally, right? The county's finally getting out there. So he wants to shorten the game because he wants to get it over with. Doesn't care how it ends. These kids are competing to win a ball game.
Yeah.
My game ended in a tie because he literally on the last out of the game, play at first, bases juiced, winning run on third base, ground ball to third. The kid throws it across the diamond. After bobbling it twice, my batter runner hit the bag and was breaking down after the bag. The ball was caught and he called him out.
Oh yeah, he had to get home, man. Was it what
Like,
what day of the week was it? What day of the week?
That was a Thursday.
Oh, Thursday night football, man. He's got to get home,
dude. So I looked at him. I said, "Dude, are you serious?" I was like, "He was breaking down." He goes, "Oh, hold on. Let me get the booth." Yeah, he's out. I'm like, "Dude,
okay, that is actually impressive trolling right there."
Asshole, man.
He said, "Let me get the booth, dude."
I'm like, I said, really? I said, okay. I was like, it's a 9-year-old game. I get it.
Yeah.
You don't care about it, but they do.
Yeah.
And so like, I think like to your point, there's a shortage of officials because, a lot of coaches like, dude, if you would have done that to another coach that can't emotionally regulate, it would have been all over.
Yeah. Well, there's another thing too of if you're going to do something, be accountable and be good at it. I am totally on that side too, where, I had an official who's a professional lacrosse official. I was giving him a bunch of crap on Twitter like 2 years ago. And he came on, jumped on Twitter for 2 seconds to say something snarky to me. And I was like, dude, all you got to do is just do this better. And his excuse was, oh, you try it if you think it's so easy. I was like, I didn't say it was easy. But if I am a roofer and my excuse for the hole in your roof when I'm done is it's hard, I get fired and I get sued, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you have a whole bunch of parents and kids that are trying to make some memories, you have a duty to at least give effort, right? And I know, like, you're getting yelled at. Dude, I could never be an umpire. Holy crap. No. You get yelled at after every pitch.
Yeah.
But if you can't handle it, don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing, too. It's like, I'm and here's how it goes. Well, if you want to volunteer your time, then you can go do it. Well, first of all, you're paying them. Okay. The league's paying these umpires.
Yeah. The coaches don't get paid. The umps do.
The coaches, I don't get paid.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and so, I mean, in fact, I still pay my kids' fee to get in the league, and I'm a coach, so, I mean, I get it, like, shortage of officials, but like the ones that we do have, man, y'all got to be better. Like, you're taking away from memories.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing.
Like, that's it, man. Like, this kid that grounded out to end the game, he thought like his whole life was over. I'm like, bro, you're safe. His mom comes up to me after the game. Coach, look, I have it on camera. I'm like, I don't need to see it.
Yeah.
I already know he was safe. It's fall ball. No big deal. But dang, man, like, to your point, like, adults, like, we don't really see kids ruin sports. We're seeing the adults, the individuals that are supposed to show these kids the way. And that's what I love, dude. Like, when I really started connecting with you and watching you and diving into your content, like, dude, like, I could just see the coach that you are, and I was like, dude, like, this dude is trying to help the youth. Like, he really gets it. He's just not a profile on Instagram, posting workout stuff. Like, you get it, man.
No, I appreciate it.
Hell yeah, man. We have to do better for these kids.
It's not that difficult. Like, the co-founder, my business partner, Jerry Agonese, and I, every day we have a phone call in the morning after I drop my kids off at school. And we literally just say, what would we have wanted? How what would I have wanted as an athlete? Because this didn't exist when I was a kid. I wanted somebody who felt like they were in their corner, right? We need an advocate. So I'm your advocate. But I also, I am definitely not, if you like a coach that just pats you on the ass, tells you how good you are all the time, that's not me. I'm going to tell you what you need. Now, I'm never going to say it in a snarky way or sarcastically. But I will always give you, that shit sandwich where it's like, that was a really good move. What I want you to change is this because you have really good this and it'll help. But like making sure that, kids leave something. And now as a father, now I'm also on the side of like, as a consumer, right? So like I said, my sons play sport. I go watch, I can notice if the coach gives a shit or not. I can tell if he's full of crap. And like you said, the Instagram profile thing, yeah, there's plenty of guys who copy what I do. They try their best, and it's all smoke and mirrors, right? It's all
Mm-hmm.
about like, you know, they, lie about who they got recruited or try to copy our, business model or whatever. And, sometimes I have fallen into the like, ugh, these guys suck type of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I realized a few years ago, I'm like, yo, if you're the fastest dude on the block, it doesn't matter how many people are running next to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like for me, I just stay in my lane and try to beat my own 40 time every day. That's the way I looked at my position when I played the game, and that's the way I look at business. It's like I know no one's going to outwork me. I'm going to wake up every day
Mm-hmm.
like a psycho, and I'm going to work. So everything's going to be
Mm-hmm.
fine. But I am so fulfilled working with these kids. Now, Sean, the tough thing that I think a lot of people who might be coaches or mentors out there can relate to, especially in a business standpoint. The one thing that I have had issues with is I have an emotional attachment to every kid that I coach. I got like 6,000 like little brothers out there,
Mm-hmm.
and you coach them for 6 to 10 years. You get to know their families. You help them with recruiting. You help them with this and that. And kid gets in trouble at school. You get like a 9 p.m. phone call. But for 9 out of 10 kids, I've had to understand that it's a transactional relationship for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
paying this guy money. I want to go to college. Once I get what I want, then a lot of guys kind of like you never hear from them again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you just have to accept that, because
Yeah.
if you don't, that's the stuff that keeps you up at night. Like, oh, this kid that I really believe in, he's just not listening on this one thing. It's going to cost him his ability to go to his dream school. Dude, you shouldn't care about that more than the kid does, man. Sorry.
Dude, it's on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And you
mean,
got to
that's the
let it go.
reality of it.
So
Yeah.
that's the thing I struggle with the most. I don't know about you as a coach, but for me, I get so, like I said, I'm not surface level. Like
Mm-hmm.
I am either completely emotionally connected to you, or you're just a person that I see down the street sometimes.
Yeah, it's hard because I'm the same way,
Yeah.
right? I think at the grassroots level, it's a little bit different, right? The high school level, when I'm helping out at the high school and those types of athletes, there's more of a connection there,
Yeah.
right? Because they're almost adults,
Yeah.
like or for age wise. I can dive down deeper with them. With the younger kids, for me, I'm really there to show them the right way to do things, right? The attitude and effort's the only thing that they can control. I'm going to be a thorn in their side if they don't try their best. I can tell. Like, no, that's not the way we do it.
Mm-hmm.
To a point where they can, I see these young kids look at me like, dude, you're too much. Like, no, I'm going to tell you the right way. I don't care how old you are. You're going to learn, right? Yeah. And you're going to do it well.
And you know why? It's
Right?
because they deserve that, right? Like,
Hell yeah, they
that's
deserve
the
it.
thing. Is I try to tell them, like, I'm tough on you because you deserve somebody who's going to help you reach your potential. That's what I care about. That's my most important thing in my life. I was able to reach my potential in something. I know when I faced off and played, there's no way that I could have ever been any better than I personally was. I had no idea, don't compare me to anybody else.
Mhm.
I reached my potential in something. That is such an incredible feeling that I want every kid to have it, right? So if
Yeah.
you're here spending $100 a week, coming to my sessions, training, texting me at night about this and that, and you're invested and your parents are invested, dude, I'm going to deliver for you. But
Mhm.
you have to accept what I'm going to say. And like you said, like it's not about you, it's about those kids. You're trying desperately to be like, dude, I want you to have this. I want you to be
Yeah.
great at this.
The hardest thing that I struggle, it's two things. One is way off the wall that you probably won't even imagine that I would say. I'll get there. But one of the struggles is getting the kids to understand that they just need to relax a little bit.
Nah.
I work one-on-one with a lot of, college baseball players. I coach them on their mental performance. I got an SEC ball player that's probably going to go in the first 5 rounds in July. We're getting to a point where he's just like, if this is to be, nothing's going to stop it. He's a God-fearing man, right? God-fearing family. He knows that if he works hard and whatever the path moving forward is going to be, it's going to be. He is not in control of it, right? He's only in control of what he can control, which is his attitude, his effort, his school, showing up as the best possible self he can be. Outside of that, it's out of his control. So he's going to submit to the process. There's too many kids out there that are, let's say in high school, focused. Well, this person said I can go in the draft. And all they think about from day one in January is the draft. And they completely lose sight of the team aspect
Mm-hmm.
and what it says on the front of the jersey, right? That is travel ball's issue.
Yes.
Okay. Like I can go, I mean, we could do another episode on travel ball of why I think it's good and why I think it's absolutely detrimental to these children and these parents. It's turned parents into psychopaths.
Yes.
Okay. It truly has. The biggest struggle I have as a coach at a high level is, you know what, man, I've lost too many kids. They've lost their lives. That is the hardest thing for me to deal with. It's bone crushing, right? This last July, we lost someone very close to me, one of my former first basemen, and that to me, being at that service and seeing him crushes me.
Yeah.
It makes me want to do better for everybody else. So when people sit there and say, why is Sean so intense? Why is he so, why is he so on it? Why is he encompass everything that a mentor should be? Is because I don't want to see another one of my kids laying there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Straight
take,
up.
when people, I take the term coach very personally. Like I tell people, like, you're trusting me with the most important thing in your life, which is your kid. I don't take that lightly at all. And I'm also not here to babysit him for an hour. Like, I'm here, if he's going to be in my presence, I'm going to deliver for him. And if you don't like that, like if you don't like a guy who's going to tell your kid what he needs to hear, then that's fine. There's so many other options for him. Absolutely. But I take the mentorship of this very, very personally and very seriously because, look, man, that's what I would have loved that. I'm the oldest of four. I didn't have an older brother or an older figure or cousin or anybody to be like, dude, do this because it's going to help you a lot. Like, I had to figure everything out on my own. And my father, bless him, he didn't play sports. So, he'd give some wisdom. He'd be like, yeah, Dad, you absolutely don't know what you're talking about. I love you, man. I will hang life pictures with you all day, but I will not listen to you when it comes to how to swing a baseball bat.
I love it, man. We got to land the plane here, buddy.
Yep.
But let me ask you, I want you to, couple things. First and foremost, tell people, well, no, let's do this. Let's do this one first. If you could give these young athletes one piece of advice that's going to get them through mentally in all the adverse situations that they're going to encounter on their baseball, football, lacrosse, or soccer, or whatever sport they're playing on their journey, what would that be?
The first thing I would say would have been what I had mentioned earlier, and learning to be analytical rather than emotional. And, having a sports psychologist or a therapist in your life can help you kind of down that road. The other thing I would say, and I say this whenever I'm interviewing somebody to bring them on to work for me, is know your worth. And I think some people take that the wrong way. Knowing your worth doesn't mean I deserve whatever I want. No. Literally knowing your worth as in, how much did you put into it? How much are you willing to put into it? And then how much do you deserve in return? Right? And that goes for sports, the classroom, your job, your relationships. Like, if I'm not giving, if I can't expect something if I'm not giving the exact same amount, right? So if I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, coach, why am I not playing over that kid? Well, that kid comes to practice every day, 15 minutes early. And that kid practices his jump shot when I told him that's the specific thing he needs to work on. You won't do those things. So no, you're not going to play in front of him. And the direct correlation is that kid's better than you because of it, right? So knowing your worth as in, don't accept anything less than what you deserve, but don't also think that you deserve more than what you're willing to put into it. And I think that's like a really important thing for kids to understand, or anybody really.
Oh, absolutely, man. That's the hard truth, right? And that's why we do it. The title of coach is very important. Transparency should be part of that, title or definition. One more thing. Why don't you tell the audience a little where they can find you, how they could work with you if they're on a fitness journey, they want to hire you remotely, but then also, for these lacrosse individuals that can find some tutelage from you and your partner.
Sure. Yeah. So on all social platforms, Greg Beast 32. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Greg Gurenlian. If you follow me on Instagram, those links are all in my profile. I specialize in face-off training, education, and recruiting. And I also am a former strength coach and a USAW. So I have a website called theofficialbeastlab.com where you can I have a bunch of different interviews with other strength coaches of different realms. I also have, on that YouTube channel, there's a whole library of movements, including land-based stuff, landmine-based stuff. I love the Landmine University. I learned a lot of stuff from it. And I love it. And I can also be a remote mentor, face-off coach for an athlete that wants to learn to take things to the highest possible level. And that's all on there as well. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate you, dude. And thank you for spending so much time with my audience. And it was just awesome to connect with you on a Friday, bud.
Yeah, man. Yo, you have an awesome weekend, my brother. It was good talking to you.
Thank you, bro. You too, man. Peace out, guys. Southwest Florida is one of the most beautiful places on the planet to live. For those of you that are thinking of moving from other states to come to Florida, or even just moving to a different part of the state, I want you to think of a big, beautiful luxury home. Contact Legacy Luxury Builders. They are a family-owned and operated luxury residential construction company. As a family-owned business, they believe in the power of building not just homes, but legacies. Contact Legacy Luxury Builders. Unlock your true potential on the field and court with our Peak Mental Performance Program for athletes. Train your mind to conquer challenges, stay focused under pressure, and achieve unparalleled success. Our expert coaches will guide you through personalized techniques, enhancing concentration, resilience, and confidence. Picture yourself outperforming your rivals, making split-second decisions with clarity, and achieving victory like never before. Join us today and elevate your game to new heights. Peak Mental Performance Program, where champions are forged in the mind. Email me today, sean.french@thedeterminedsociety.com for more information. See you inside.